Hello and welcome to this episode of HBCU. I'm your host, Dee Brown CEO. Joining me on the show today is Brian Adams. Brian is a graduate of Alcorn State University. Brian, welcome to the program. Glad to have you, man.
I greatly appreciate it. Nice to be on.
Yeah, look, I want to jump right into the show. I know we're going to have a lot of ground to cover with you. But tell me, how did you become interested in Alcorn State University?
My mom attended Alcorn State University, and then, just the history of the school, the history of the basketball program, the coach that recruited me, and, just seeing Steve McNair do his thing out there on the football field, during his heyday at Alcorn State University, kind of piqued my interest of wanting to attend school there, as a basketball player, even though he played football,
Right.
I just wanted to see if I could, do the same things and bring that type of interest, back to the basketball program.
So I know you were a phenomenal basketball player. So just talk a little bit about your high school playing career and how you ended up taking your talent to Alcorn.
I came in, I attended Piney Woods Country Life School, historically all-black boarding school located in Mississippi, where we lived on campus. Very educated school, very strict. And I attended there, because I needed the discipline with my academics. I knew I could play basketball, but I had to be able to put basketball and my academics together, and it just worked out perfect. For me and my situation. Now, I didn't know that I would, end up being a legendary basketball player per se, but, I put in the work, but I just made sure that I got my academics in order. And then my career just started to flourish, just being recruited by so many schools, winning 3 state championships in a row, winning Player of the Year, in the state of Mississippi, Metro Player of the Year. In the metro area when it was hard to do, So, man. So that just really helped my situation. And then the coach that recruited me to Alcorn State University, he never felt like he couldn't get me. He was never intimidated by all the other schools that were recruiting me.
So, what was that atmosphere like? Because obviously, being a top-rated player coming out of Piney Wood, it was kind of probably a preconceived notion that you would have gone to one of the larger programs, right? So,
Yeah.
what was the reaction or the atmosphere like when you decided to go to Alcorn State?
Man, when I made that decision to go to Alcorn, it was some like, man, it was some wows and it was some repercussions behind it and things of that nature, because my high school coach, he left the summer going into my senior year. He got a job at the University of Southern Miss. So everybody, just thought that I was going to follow him to Southern Miss. But, Alcorn, man, like I said, the coach came in and he was just authentic about, the whole recruiting process and, just wanted to have me at Alcorn. I just felt like Alcorn was like Piney Woods to me, like a small school, small setting. I just didn't see myself going to school where it was 10, 20, 30,000 students. And my high school only had 250 students, man. So I just wanted to fit in and then just, be able to show my talents. Because if you're really good enough, they're going to find you regardless.
Right. So talk to me about your freshman year at Alcorn, how you balanced athletics and academics, and what were some of your notable achievements?
Well, first thing, I was an honor student my freshman year at Alcorn. I think I had like probably 3.2, 3.3 grade point average. So adjusting to college wasn't hard at all because, like I say, coming from high school, we lived on campus. So once I got into college, it was, it was a piece of cake. Now, now I have to adjust on the court now. I'm coming in as a hot shot freshman, one of the top players in the country. So now I have to prove myself all over again. But I was definitely prepared for it because, I had put in the work. It wasn't easy, but, I had a really great freshman year, averaged close to 12 points a game. I was the freshman of the year in the conference. So, and I also wanted to show the people, like, hey, man, y'all got a top recruit on this campus, and this is what it's like to have a top recruit on the campus. And I just enjoy being there, playing in front of 10,000 people. I didn't play in front of an empty gym.
So I know you mentioned Steve McNair and how watching him help influence your decision to go to Alcorn. But once you got there and you began to, perform, how did his legacy impact you?
Oh, man, it was, everlasting legacy, because now, when you see someone like him come from Alcorn, then you see a player like myself, sign with a HBCU, go to Alcorn. Now it sets you up for the future of building a program. Okay, we have Brian Adams here. We have other players here like Carl Jones and Ruben Stiff and things of that nature. Let's continue to add more pieces and build a program. And that's exactly what we did, and I think what we did was kind of legendary down there.
So share with the viewers your achievements on the court.
Well, like I said, I was freshman of the year at Alcorn. Was able to be invited to the Michael Jordan basketball camp twice while I was at Alcorn. We helped bring the program back from the dead because, man, before I got there, man, the program was in the dumps. And, we come back, we go 23-7. My junior year, we go to the NCAA tournament, nearly knocked off Stanford. We had one of the longest winning streaks in the country at like 42 games, which was like number 3 in the country behind Michigan State. So, man, it was just fun times. Like, there's some students that went to school during that time, never saw a home loss at that school. Right. Imagine being in school 4 years and you never seen us lose.
Right,
that's crazy.
Right, that's amazing.
That's crazy. Yeah. So that was, a lot of students talk about that. Former students, when I talk to them now, be like, man, y'all had that thing rocking down there. So, and like I said, just being invited to Michael Jordan basketball camp, coming from an HBCU. I mean, it wasn't shocking to me because I had already seen those guys before in high school and played against them. And, some of them really didn't know who I was. And they was like, dang, man, what school you go to? I was like, I go to Alcorn. It's like, man, for real? They was like, where you was at first? I was like, I always been at Alcorn, So I guess they didn't think that a player, my caliber should be at a HBCU and things of that nature. But that's not true,
What was it like at the Michael Jordan basketball camps? What was that experience like?
Man, it was crazy, because, where I'm from, I never saw NBA players growing up. And, you get a chance to get invited to your favorite player camp. I wore number 23. I wore his shoes. I try to walk and talk like him and do all Michael Jordan things. I just think Kobe Bryant beat me to it. So, but just getting that invitation, man. Being around him, he was a really great guy to be around. To say that you spent 8 days of your life in 2 summers with the greatest player to ever live, man, it was unbelievable. And I was there the 2 years that he beat Utah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So take me back to the yard during your Alcorn days. Who were some of the most influential people in your lives during that time?
Definitely my parents. I had both of my parents in my life, my mom and dad. I had my godparents from my hometown, James and Lily Belton. They were definitely influential in my decision to attend Piney Woods as well as Alcorn State University because they were educated school teachers who also helped educate me on the whole, HBCU the history of the schools, and the schools are, they were built for us and things of that nature. And then also my high school coach, even though, my coach took a job, right before my senior year, man, he has been one of my biggest influences. And we talk at least 2 or 3 times a week to this day, so those were definitely my biggest influences while I was in college.
So take me to the time that you were on the yard. What made Alcorn just a really special institution in your opinion?
Well, it's in the middle of nowhere, so
That's special.
so
Right.
the nearest Walmart is like 25 miles. I think 25 miles to Natchez, and maybe 35 to Vicksburg. So you had to become family,
Right.
because it was nothing to do, and just being around people who are your friends to this day, they was just so genuine and authentic. And, I always try to treat people right. I never, had my head in the clouds and, thought I was better than anyone. And I just never changed, as far as, how I act towards people and things of that nature. And man, it was special just meeting people that, that you're friends with to this day.
What about coaching staff, faculty? Were there any individuals that were instrumental in your success there?
Oh man, it was a lot of people. Like I say, you're in a small setting. The teachers give you more attention. They didn't give me anything, but they know who you are. Especially on a small campus, you get a chance to have a relationship with your teachers and the people that work at the post office, the people that work in the cafeteria. Just being nice to people. Your coaches, and being coachable and things of that nature, because the guy that I played under, he's in the NCAA Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest coaches ever, and he led Alcorn State to the first ever win for HBCU in the NCAA tournament. So a lot of people have their hands on you at these HBCUs.
So talk to me about your next move once you left Alcorn. What was next on your path?
When I left Alcorn, I went and played professionally overseas. Of course, it's everybody's dream to make it to the NBA, and things of that nature. But I had a few hiccups here and there. I broke my foot the first day of practice my junior year. And it kind of hindered me, a little bit, but I was still able to have a career after college. And that's nothing that's, guaranteed. And, I went over in Germany. I played in Norway. I played in Portugal, so I had a great time. And, once I finished my career, I was at peace with, how it played out.
So what was it like playing basketball overseas in terms of just the competitiveness, the cultural differences, et cetera?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's something you have to get used to because, my first year I was in Germany. It was a little difficult my first year because my father, he was passing away. I went to Germany in August, and my dad passed away in November. So I'm the only child, so I'm having to deal with that. And, you go overseas, then you got to come home and, come to your dad's funeral and stuff like that. So my first year was kind of tough because I always had my father in my life. I always had both of my parents in my life. But, I had to man up and piece things together and continue to play well and, just take care of my mom, the best way I could and things of that nature, too.
Yeah. So how long did you play overseas?
I played 4 years overseas. I would say my best year was in Portugal. Averaged like 15 points and 7 rebounds a game. I helped lead the team to the championship over there, even though we didn't win, but just playing for a championship in another country was amazing. From high school to college to the pros, I played for a championship or won a championship on every level. And, that's kind of hard to do,
Yeah. And so once you wrap up your professional career, what was your next move along your professional journey?
Well, I came. I went back to Alcorn and I started coaching with Larry Smith, old school Alcorn basketball player. He's probably, he don't like when I say this, but I know I always tell him he's the greatest basketball player ever from Alcorn State. Man, he's my mentor, and he gave me my first coaching job. And he coached. He played in the NBA for 12 years, coached for like 13. He won 2 NBA championships with the Houston Rockets. He coached Elijah Wan, Drexler, Barkley, Kobe Bryant as well with the Lakers. And he gave me my first job as a coach, and I ended up being a player development coach. So, yeah, so it has led me to this journey that I'm on now.
So talk to me about your current business operation. You run an academy, and so tell me more about it and what your mission is there.
It's a nonprofit organization, 501c3. And pretty much our mission and things is to help underprivileged kids, get off the streets, help them with health and wellness and just things, everyday things that you can use to survive. Just things that I was able to be able to get through, with people helping me. So now I'm able to give back, working with young ladies, working with boys. A lot of these kids have gone on to play elite level college basketball. Some are now even in the pros or getting ready to be NBA draft picks.
So tell me, number one, the name of the academy, and then just talk about some of the stories where you have really impacted and touched some lives.
It's the Bryan Adams Basketball Academy, nonprofit 501c3, and just being in some of these players' lives, because some of these kids, they have fathers, they have mothers, some don't, but just being able to share my experiences, share my stories, help coach them through certain situations, not even just on the court, just it can be things off the court, the mental preparation, physical preparation, the things that you have to deal with on and off the court, and it's been very helpful. I don't like to give myself credit and things of that nature when it comes to that, but the parents, they do. The players, they do as well. So that's been very important.
And so what is your, I guess, long-term personal goal in terms of where you want to be from a legacy perspective in your philanthropic endeavors?
I know, for one, just, keep God first at home, take care of my wife, take care of my family, and then, just be the best version of me that I can possibly be, and just help as many people as I can while I'm here, and just reach as many young people, underprivileged kids, and, just carry out the mission, just be authentic in my everyday walk, as far as my nonprofit is concerned.
Now, how do you feel Alcorn played a role in shaping you into the person you are today?
Oh, it was very vital, very vital. Without Alcorn, man, I definitely probably wouldn't be where I'm at to this day. It was just being around great people while I was there, and it helped me adapt and adjust to life. Some of the things that you had to maybe go through sometimes at HBCUs, it helps you adjust and help you adapt to life. And, I was just prepared for it, for any situation. So I owe a lot to Alcorn, man. That's where I got my degree. Those people took care of Bryan Adams down there.
So, obviously, HBCUs are lacking in funding and resources, et cetera. Just talk for just a minute about why you feel that it's important for alumni and even people that are in the broader community to support these important institutions?
Well, it's definitely important because those schools were created for us, and I think that's where a lot of people get things twisted a little bit. With HBCUs, these schools were created for us when we couldn't go attend other places, and I just think we all have to come together some kind of way and just help support, help fund the university, just all HBCUs in general. Because so much greatness has come out of the HBCUs, whether it's athletes, whether it's politicians, whether it's doctors, lawyers, just anything. Some of the greatest people in this country graduated from HBCUs.
Right. No doubt about it. Kind of tell me in terms of from your time at Alcorn, if you got a young high school senior looking to further their education, why should they consider Alcorn as the college to attend?
Well, I would say, hey, do your history on the university, whatever your major is going to be, see if that major is there. I'm quite sure it is. It's just the history of the school and that you'll be well taken care of. And there's no difference between getting a degree in Alcorn and some of these other major universities, So, it's people that have all these fancy degrees from these other schools and stuff like that, man. They're having a hard time maybe, getting jobs and stuff like that, but it's just the connection and things that you're going to have, as we call it, with Alcornites when it's all said and done, So, we look out for each other for sure.
Yep. And so, before Deion Sanders made his mark on HBCUs, you had guys like you and Steve McNair who came before you, and a lot of other great players, Walter Payton, just to name a few,
Right.
That actually brought attention and the spotlight to HBCUs. But what is your take, positive or negative? I'm just curious, what is your take on the impact that Coach Prime had on HBCUs during his short tenure at Jackson State University?
Man, he had an immediate impact, and I thought he put a lot of fear in the powers that be. He came to Jackson State. He did what he was supposed to do, and like he said on the 60 Minutes clip, he left when he was supposed to. So I can't I can't say anything negative because the attention that he brought to the university probably hadn't happened since the Walter Payton days or the days of the late 90s, early 2000s. Bringing the top recruit in the country to Jackson State. I mean, it shared a lot of light on the university. So it's definitely, even though that's my rival school, but it's definitely no negativity whatsoever towards that because, man, what he did in that short amount of time was amazing. And
Right.
he left it, to where someone else can just walk right in and do what they're supposed to do. So in that situation, that's when the alumni got to be stronger than ever. Hey, we cannot let this go. We
Right.
got to keep pushing. We got to do what we have to do to take this thing to another level.
Right. No, I agree. And I think that even with his departure from the institution and having Shador and Shiloh and Travis Hunter and others as well, but those three in particular, I think that he proved that athletes who are at HBCUs can actually go to a Power 5 school and still perform on a high level. And, oftentimes it's this stereotype that, you're only performing at that level because you are not playing against, very competitive teams, et cetera. And so I think they kind of are helping to dispel that myth, kind of one game at a time. What's your take on that?
I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, those guys are showing that they can play on that level. And, to get off course a little bit, I'm a Las Vegas Raiders fan. And what we're showing is we're taking guys from those Power 5 schools that can't play.
Right.
So, yeah, so I definitely understand, man. And you know, I came from that league, you know, the SWAC, and man, guys can play. If you can play, you can play.
Right.
You know, people need to stop, you know, with that myth. Oh man, the competition. Once you in college, you playing against elite competition. Whether they say the low D1, mid-level, Power 5, Division 1 is Division 1.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people that all the time.
Well, Brian, we're going to have to wrap the show up, but I want to do two things. I want to thank you, number one, for joining me on this episode of HBCU and taking time out your busy schedule to be here and share your story and share the story of Alcorn. But also, I want to present you with our HBCU Lifetime Achievement Award for your continued commitment to historically Black colleges and universities. You'll be receiving this in the mail. And I want to thank you so much for being with us. And to my viewers, I want to thank you for watching this episode of HBCU. I'm your host, Dee Brown CEO. And remember, without you, there's no me.